Bacterial chemotaxis in plain English. So let's take a look under this microscope. Now, it may look like this bacterium is scurrying about randomly, but in reality it's moving in response to a chemical gradient, otherwise known as chemotaxis. Scientifically, bacterial chemotaxis is defined as the process by which bacteria move to or away from a chemical gradient. What?
This is little Johnny, and he has a real sweet tooth for cookies. He walks by a bakery one day and smells a fresh baked cookie. When Johnny smells the cookies, he immediately turns around and wanders towards the cookies. The closer he gets to the cookies, the stronger the aroma becomes, and his path becomes more direct. When little Johnny finally reaches the cookies, he sits down to rest slowly and eats the cookie. He stays in the bakery because it smells just so delicious.
Aw, now that was cute. But really, what's going on here? In chemotaxis, a positive chemotactic response drives the movement of a flagellated bacterium towards a stimulus. That is the resulting movement towards an increasing concentration of chemical attractant. Now, in contrast, negative chemotactic response is the resulting movement of bacterium away from higher concentration of chemicals called repellents. So we talked about where they move. Now let's talk about how they move. Bacteria move in what's called a biased random walk. The biased random walk consists of a period of swimming and a period of tumbling. Swimming, tumbling. Swimming, tumbling. Swimming, tumbling. Swimming, tumbling. Swimming, tumbling. These swimming and tumbling motions alternate in response to the relative amount of stimulus around the bacteria. During a tumble, the bacteria randomly change their orientation. When they resume swimming, they're moving in a different direction. Tumbling is delayed when moving in a desired direction, and tumbling is activated when moving in an undesirable direction, thus allowing for an overall movement towards a desirable environment.
Now, what physically drives this biased random walk?
Flagella!
These are the flagella of an E. coli. Flagella are the toll-like protrusions that are attached to the body of a bacterium and provide them locomotion. These flagella respond to a change in chemical gradient that are regulated by a two-component regulatory system. This two-component regulatory system is comprised of sensor proteins and transmitter proteins that signal the flagella to reverse rotation.
In the absence of attractant, the two-component regulatory system progresses, causing the flagella to rotate clockwise, and the bacteria tumbles. In the presence of attractant, the two-component regulatory system is inhibited, causing the flagella to rotate counterclockwise. Thus, the bacteria swims in a straight line. So how do we keep it all straight? Well, when the attractant is increasing, tumbling is decreasing. And when the attractant is decreasing, tumbling is increasing. When the repellent's increasing, tumbling is increasing. When the repellent's decreasing, tumbling is decreasing. To make a long story short, bacterial chemotaxis is a fundamental process by which bacteria move to more favorable conditions, whether it be towards sources of nutrient or away from toxic environments. This ultimately sustains the life of the bacterium. Bacterial chemotaxis is one of the most effective modes of transportation and survival.